It's very upsetting to me to feel tonight that I lost to that. I don't want to sound like, I'm very sore, but I am sore. But it comes with some salt in my wound.
What are people saying? Oh my God, how many comments? Only 7 comments. Let's see. Baby crying. You lied. The reason you lost is because you and your team are not the smartest. No class whatsoever. What a disaster as a mayor. It's Esposito. Wah, wah, wah. Just bow out gracefully. He is not being very graceful here. Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Thursday? I am doing quite well. Been a little bit busy over here at the That Surprise Witness BJ Investigates Production Studios LLP headquarters mothership, trying to ramp up production for Vlogmas, as it were, for the next few weeks at least. So make sure you're subscribed and you have all your notifications on and all of that. But today's video, I wanted to talk briefly about some huge and exciting news. You may have been able to tell from the thumbnail and the title and things, but ding dong, the witch is dead. There is a new mayor of Danbury, Connecticut, thank God. Dean Esposito has been ousted. He is no longer the mayor of Danbury, which he never should have been. The man was incompetent to hold that office. And guess what else? Lyin Jan also seems to have lost her spot as the town clerk. So without further ado, I do want to read this article that did just come out literally yesterday. So let me share that with y'all. This is from the Connecticut Examiner, and the title of the article is Democrats Win Danbury Mayor's Race in Upset. As you can see, it was written just yesterday as the time of the recording of this video. This is the guy who won. Alves is how they say his last name for some reason, but when I read it, it does look like Alves, but apparently it's Alves, which is kind of difficult to say. So let's read what this Connecticut Examiner did have to say about the race. The Danbury mayor's race was bitter to the end. Democrat Roberto Alves defeated Republican Mayor Dean Esposito by 463 votes, beating the one-term mayor 7,531 votes to 7,068 votes Tuesday evening. That was 2 nights ago. The Democrats also took control of the council in the city, so they took over the city council, winning the council at press time either 16-5 or 17-4. Looks like there was some discrepancy over one of the elections of one of the people. That's actually a very substantial and significant majority because from what I've been learning about Danbury, has always been a Republican town. The city council, I think it's been 20 years that Republicans have been in charge in Danbury. And if you need a refresher, it doesn't make a difference to me whether these people are Democrats or Republicans. For me, what makes the difference is what you're doing, what your actions are. And Dean Esposito, I will remind you, failed to take any action against an officer who said that 20 years ago he would have done it himself. Kill Sean Reyes. So we did make a BJ Investigates on this particular town in Danbury and the Long Island Audit saga of the whole story. Do go and check that video out on BJ Investigates, where we do actually confront and ask the mayor in a public place peacefully what his explanation was for leaving these officers on the force and not seemingly giving them any consequence in any way whatsoever for threatening the lives of journalists.
20 years ago, I'd be dead with my teeth missing.
Not right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And do you condemn the statements of one of your...
I'm not commenting on that. No comment. No comment. That's their 2 pre-programmed answers, these NPCs. No comment and have a nice day. They couldn't even go so far as to say that was not appropriate. No, Sean, that police officer shouldn't have said that. No, y'all don't even have the backbone to say the damn truth. And that's disgusting, deplorable, despicable. You get on my nerves and you make me sick.
It doesn't matter to me if a Democrat did that or a Republican did that. In either event, he should not be the mayor. That's kind of where I am. So this article does spend a lot of time talking about Democrat versus Republican. I don't really adopt these partisan viewpoints and these partisan stances, but I do think it is significant that the mayor of the town for like 20 years has been a Republican. Like, it's a Republican town. And I think the city council was also majority Republican, and they just now completely did an overhaul from what I can tell. It says there are about 6,000 more registered Democrats than registered Republicans in the city, according to local officials. But we don't, I mean, what do you mean according to local officials? We would need to see something else besides just their word. I would need to see some paperwork. Now, you will notice 3 mayors ago, Joe Cavo is in the background. And I don't know if this is the party or what for Alves, but Joe Cavo is a Republican. So I don't know what he's doing here, where they are. Look, it says it. Yeah, no, I mean, this is Joe Cavo, right? It looks like him. What was he doing at Alves? Oh, is there some drama? What is Joe Cavo doing at Alves' victory party? Oh, there's some drama afoot because Joe Cavo, we also asked about the cops in Danbury making these death threats, and he did not want to answer the questions.
Do you support 20 years ago I've been dead with my teeth missing? Yes or no? Yes or no, sir? Do you support those comments?
Teeth missing. These people these elected officials, these people who have been voted on to be in these positions, didn't even have the backbone to say, no, Sean, no one should have said you should be dead with your teeth missing.
He went on a radio show and talked all kinds of crap about Sean, said some lies, if I remember correctly. So the fact that this Republican, who's also a supporter of Dean Esposito, the mayor that lost, the fact that he's over here at this victory party, I do think is interesting. I wonder what that's about. Now, it does say there was no love lost between the two candidates as they spent the last few months taking shots at each other. I do actually think there is some love lost because we're going to watch it in a second, but Dean Esposito actually did make a speech and like a concession speech or whatever. And in the speech, he definitely seems to be a little bit bitter. I'm disappointed because Sean is premiering a video right now and here I am recording, but duty calls, as it were. Okay. So Dean Esposito even went so far as to say that he was sour or sore. We'll watch the video together. But yeah, there's definitely some love lost. So I'm not sure about this reporting. Esposito recently told Connecticut Examiner that his opponent favored defunding the police because he was endorsed by the Connecticut Working Families Party, which this is another just like dog whistle word. Like defunding the police could mean a lot of things. So don't have these knee-jerk reactions to dog whistle words. Y'all, you have to go and look into why it is people are saying things. But maybe he does. Maybe he does want to. I don't know anything about this man. Maybe, I don't know. I have no idea. But this is what I'm reading here in the article. Some in the National Party have called for defunding the police, with Alves calling the claim aimed at him absurd. So he's saying, it's absurd. I'm not trying to defund the police. What are you talking about? And Alves, who lost by about 200 votes in 2021. And again, I talked about this in my video yesterday that y'all let flop, but I did make a video yesterday where I reminded y'all that those votes happened during absentee voting. And Jan Geigler was responsible for the absentee ballot counting. I did talk about this yesterday in yesterday's video, so go watch that if you have not had a chance. But lost by only about 200 votes, this guy, Alves, this guy right here, he ran against Dean Esposito already one time in 2021, 2 years ago, lost by 200 votes. Who knows about that election? You know what I mean? So Alves, for his part, has accused Esposito of not being transparent nor honest. So he has accused Dean Esposito of being a liar. About what? If y'all have been around my channel for the last year or so, then you know I did go on a little bit of a run, a little bit of a push, where I made a bunch of videos about Danbury, and I did do a pretty thorough investigation into what I was able to find about them. And one of the things that I was able to find was a lot of suspicious activity having to do with the Danbury Career Academy. I haven't even told y'all all the stuff that I found because I just kind of lost interest, to be honest. That's what happens with me sometimes. But I also had to start defending myself in federal litigation and stuff like that. So it just kind of took a back burner seat. But I was looking very closely into the Danbury Career Academy, and I could not get an answer from the local town, from Lyin Jan. I could not get an answer from her as to the exact amount of money that was spent on the purchase of the land. I think some suspicious activity, some untoward activity is going on, but I don't know. I wasn't there, innocent until proven guilty. What I will say is it appeared to me, based on the publicly available deed, that Danbury only paid $10 for the property, which doesn't make sense at all to me. Never was able to get to the bottom of it, kind of lost interest, kind of got distracted, whatever. But it looks like the new mayor of Danbury had the same concerns. Let me read this sentence one more time. Alves has accused Esposito of being a liar, specifically when it came to the costs of 2 buildings for the Career Academy. I wonder if he was watching That Surprise Witness and BJ Investigates. I should reach out to him. Roberto Alves, let me just address him here. Let me put your picture up here. Roberto, congratulations on winning this very historic race. Very good, very nice. I don't know anything about you, so I'm going to assume that because we both stand on the same side about Dean Esposito's honesty, that you are at least a little bit more honest than him. I am hoping, praying, and all of that. I know that the citizens of Danbury must be as well, that you do a much better job than the fools who were in charge the last 2 times. That being said, I am very interested to know what exactly you are suspicious about having to do with the Danbury Career Academy. If you would like to come and make an appearance on the show, please do have your representatives email me at thatsurprisewitness@gmail.com. Thank you very much. All right, here's loser Dean. And I don't know that's his clone or his twin or what going on over there, but this got to be a Esposito. There's no way that's not a Esposito right there. Okay. So the combative tone continued Tuesday night. So this is him making his loser speech, and we're going to watch the video of this speech together. In his concession speech to a packed crowd of about 200 at Anthony's Lake Club Catering, Dean Esposito said the following. Quote, "Tonight was a rough night. We weren't victorious. The people have made their choice. They know who they selected, and God bless them." Esposito continued, "My opponent ran a rough campaign. It's hard to believe I lost to that guy. I am sore. I'm a lifelong Danburian. I congratulate my opponent, but he made statements about me that weren't true. We have to keep him in check. It's a sad night for me, but we have to stay focused." And you know what's funny? A video just came out. It's almost like I wonder if Dean Esposito was actually planning on winning, because a video came out this morning. Video came out about 20 minutes ago as the time of recording this video of Dean Esposito doing a tour of some college campus or something. And it's almost like, well, you knew that the mayor race was going to have already been decided by then. So why would you make a video and put it to post saying this is the mayor of Danbury and all that? I don't know about all that. But he says he's sore. He's a lifelong Danburian, but he does not own property in Danbury, as far as what I was able to find about a year ago. He says, "I congratulate my opponent, but he made statements about me that weren't true. We have to keep him in check. Sad night for me. We have to stay focused." Focused on what, dude? Take a break. Esposito said the Republicans will be watching how government runs the next 2 years and will call you out every step of the way. We are Danburians, and we will call them to task. Good. They should. They should. I have no problem with that. I think that's what everybody should be doing. You should be calling to task the people who you elected to run your government, and you should absolutely hold them accountable, and you should be watching how the government runs. So that's good. I'm glad that they are going to be doing that. Several Esposito supporters were crying during his speech. The mood at Alves' venue at the Portuguese Cultural Center was, on the other hand, upbeat. And it did look like Joe Cabo was there. There's some drama going on if that is Joe Cabo. Connecticut Attorney General William Tong, the Connecticut Attorney General was an Alves supporter, told hundreds in attendance that Roberto is a decent, honorable man. It was a really hard race for an immigrant named Roberto Alves, Tong said. For the young William Tongs out there and the young Roberto Alves out there, this shows what is possible in Danbury. Tong noted that Alves, who served on the city council from 2019 to 2021, is believed to be both the first Danbury mayor of Portuguese descent and Brazilian descent. Prior to Tong speaking, Alves told Connecticut Examiner that the victory was a bittersweet one. He said, "It means so much. There's a wave of emotions because we fought so hard," said Alves, who noted that his father died at the age of 65 during the campaign. Aw, that is sad. My condolences are with Roberto's family and with him. His father did pass away during the campaign, so that's tough. That's really sad. It comes down to honest. Yeah, it does. It really does. It's very simple. This is what the people want in 2023. Honesty. It's almost like it's very simple. It all comes down to honest campaigning, Alves said when he was asked why he thought he was elected the city's first Democratic mayor in more than 2 decades. It also came down to accountability. Yes. When the city violated the rules and passed gerrymandering, we stood up to that. It was about holding leaders accountable. The people in Danbury are mad. They're aggravated. And it does appear, or it did appear, like the leadership in Danbury had a lot of support, but it was kind of just like their little clique and their little, club that would like go to all these events and make these press appearances and stuff. So they looked very supported, but it looks like the citizens of Danbury have spoken, baby. Alves said that he was told by many people that they ran the most efficient, well-organized campaign the city had ever seen. He said the voters held Dean Esposito accountable on issues like the defunding the police claim. Right. So Dean Esposito said over and over again, Alves wanted to defund the police, but Alves was saying, I never said that. And the voters held Dean accountable for lying about that. It came down to talking about issues that mattered to voters, like taxes, roads, and career academies. Asked what he would do on day one, which I guess is today, technically. I guess he's not until he gets sworn in. He's only 40 years old. Alves is only 40 years old. Wow, he's young. Asked what he would do on day one. Alves, a 40-year-old technical sales engineer and treasurer of the state Democratic Party. I wonder if he knows Cheryl. I wonder if he knows Cheryl Wanda, who was stuffing ballot boxes in Bridgeport, who also was a big operative for the Democratic Party. I don't know. Again, like I said, I don't have a political preference to Democrats or Republicans. I feel like I've made myself clear on that. But there's a Democratic operative who definitely appears to be caught on camera stuffing ballot boxes in Bridgeport. So I do wonder if Alves has any comment on that. I do wish that as the mayor of Danbury, he would come out and denounce that type of behavior just because he's the treasurer of the state Democratic Party. He said, we will open the books up. Oh, thank God. I want to see the Danbury Career Academy books. Please, Roberto Alves, thatsurprisewitness@gmail.com. Please send me the Danbury Career Academy books. Roberto, probably you know what I'm capable of based on my previous videos of investigating. So if you send those to me, I'll be happy to take a look and make videos about them for the people. We will open the books up. We've got to find out what we don't know. That, he said, will include an audit. That surprise audit, baby. Okay, that was it. All right. So now I want to show y'all the video of Dean Esposito's loser speech. And usually the videos that they're in do not be getting a lot of views, but this one got 1,000 views from a day ago. So let me show y'all. This is what we're going to watch right here. Danbury Mayor's race, Republican Dean Esposito concedes to Democrat Roberto Alves, which again, I don't know why we got to put Republican, Democrat, really, but it's like everybody's in these cults and that's the only language they speak. Okay. All right. So we are going to watch this video, but let's read the description. For the first time in over 2 decades, a Democrat will be Danbury's mayor after Roberto Alves defeated Dean Esposito, who was vying for a second term. Video by Michael Gagney, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Okay. What are people saying? Oh my God, how many comments? Only 7 comments. Let's see. Baby crying. You lied. The reason you lost is because you and your team are not the smartest. No class whatsoever. What a disaster as a mayor. It's Espositover. Wah, wah, wah. Just bow out gracefully. He is not being very graceful here. So I'm going to pull up the video in a different format because I did download it and it makes the volume come through a little bit better. So let me just pull that up. So let's just get a little taste of what he had to say. Maybe we'll watch the whole thing. Maybe we won't. We'll see.
That's what I say. Yeah. The reality of, thank you. Michelle, you're always good.
Those 4 claps.
You know, we have some really positive scenarios. Neil Bazay, Mike Coelho, Fox, Massey, Palmer on the council. Elmer.
So just a few people on the council. And we'll read an article too about the city council in just a minute.
As it sits right now, Elmer's close, but those are the people we have to rely on in the future of the next 2 years for the city of Danbury. Because we all know that my opponent ran a rough campaign, made a lot of statements that were inaccurate and untrue. And it's very upsetting.
Not the liars getting mad somebody lied.
To me to feel tonight that I lost to that. Because my goal.
I lost to that. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so the Connecticut Examiner is doing a little bit PR pushing for Dean Esposito. So I just want to do this fact check real quick. Let's listen to what Dean Esposito actually just said. I'm going to turn it up very loud. Listen to what he just said, and then we're going to read the quote that he was quoted as saying.
To feel tonight that I lost to that. Because my goal was to bring the
that I lost to that. That's what he said, right? Okay, listen, look at this. Connecticut Examiner said, hard to believe that I lost to that guy. He just said that. He didn't say that guy. This makes it sound so much more. Maybe it's at the end. Let me see. Let me not get ahead of myself. Maybe he does say this somewhere, but he just said, I lost to that.
Possible scenario to the city of Danbury. And with your help, the people in this room, the council people that sat on that dais, we did that for 2 solid years. So the people of Danbury.
Y'all had a major scandal during that time that one of your cops said that he would have KILLED somebody 20 years ago just for recording with a camera. So maybe that could have affected a little bit of your tenure as mayor. Maybe the fact that nobody knows how much y'all actually paid for the Danbury Career Academy, even though it was like $200 million budget item or something. I don't know.
I don't want to sound like, I'm very sore, but I am sore. I'm a lifelong Danburian. I know what we're facing in this city for the next 2 years. I congratulate my opponent, but it comes with some salt in my wound. The guy made statements about me personally, and unfortunately, the people of this city accepted those statements. I sound like a sore loser, but I am sore because I live for this city. I was born and raised.
The house he owns is not in Danbury. He bought a house somewhere else, not even in Danbury, since he loves it so much over there.
In the city. I know the people of this city.
And they know you too, and that's why you didn't win.
The city of Danbury moves forward from this point into the future. And that was our goal right from the start. I made my commitments 2 years ago. I fulfilled those commitments. And the people of Danbury decided that this person is the guy to run the city. And, that's where we're going to go. But the reality of that is we have to keep them in check. We have to make sure that they make their commitments and do what's best for the city of Danbury.
No, I think I'm right. I think they literally misquoted him. It's hard to believe I lost to that is what he said. He did not say that guy. Unless y'all tell me the timestamp in this video where he said that guy. I might be mistaken, but it sounded like he had said, I can't believe I lost to that. Like dehumanizing him a little bit.
Because we are Danbury. Republicans of Danbury are Danbury. We made that clear. Our goals are.
Again, like, what is this weird culty, like, Republicans are Danbury? Well, then Democrats are Danbury too. What are you even talking about? Like, the more I'm out of the cult of the left and the right and the Democrat and the Republican, the more absurd it seems. Like, the more preposterous it really is to me because it isn't Democrat versus Republican. And I know I've been hearing this, like, my whole life. It doesn't, like, really resonate the same your whole life until you really, like, get it. It is not Democrat versus Republican. It is not left versus right. It is we the people who would like to have freedom and happiness versus the overlords who do not want us to have that. That's really what it is. It's just my opinion.
Simple. To keep Danbury moving forward. So tonight is a sad night for me, a night for many of you. But the reality of that is we have to stay focused. We have to call them to task. We have to call them out on those statements they made that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. But the reality is it's not that simple, my friend. And let's see what happens in the next 2 years when you're wearing the top hat of the city of Danbury. And we're going to call you out every.
I've heard theories that that's why the people in Danbury act like they do, because it's like this hat city. And a lot of people there have like mercury poisoning and different poisonings from like making these hats. And here he is like putting on the Mad Hatter hat, the hat of Danbury.
Step of the way. We were lucky enough to get some council members elected. And they're going to be there. They're going to support us. They're going to question every move that's made in the city of Danbury. So for me,
and that's good. They should. That's how everybody should be in their town. You should question every move that's being made by your government officials because they're representing you the most closely. Like, and they are the ones who you actually have legitimate access to, or you should have access to them.
Tonight is a sad night for my wife. Sharon, come on up here.
This lady had the weirdest vibe. Okay, now they're over. Okay. So there's one more article, or maybe two more that I want to show y'all. Okay, this one is called Danbury Election Results 2023 Vote Totals for Every Race. This is from patch.com. Here are the vote totals for every candidate that ran in the Danbury local elections on Tuesday, November 7th. The votes have all been counted in Danbury, and here are the totals for the mayor, treasurer, town clerk, that's Jan Geigler's old job, remember Lyin Jan? City Council, Board of Education, Zoning Commission, and constables. The vote totals and percent of total below are listed courtesy of the Secretary of State website. So it looks like it's been maybe updated, or this is not the number of votes that was cited in that other article. So the examiner says Roberto Alves got 7,500 votes, 7,531, and Dean got 7,068. But this article from the Secretary of State takes away some of those votes from Roberto and actually just transposes the numbers. So this article said Dean had gotten 7,068 votes. This article says 7,086, but I guess we should go with the official Secretary of State's website count. So we'll just go with this, but I do want to point out that the numbers listed are different, but still he wins. Roberto Alves wins 49.46% of the vote. Dean got 48.81. And then I don't know what this is. Oh, maybe that's the extra votes. What's this WF? A little bit confusing here. What is this? Let me see. Oh, Lord. That ain't right. That's deceiving. All right. I don't know what this WF is, but it does look like it's the same person. It still says Roberto. Okay. Well, whatever. Okay. Moving on. Okay. So for treasurer, we have the Democrat losing. So Daniel Jowdy did win. Town clerk. So Janice Geigler, she did run, but guess what? She lost. But this is what I wanted to show y'all. Look who won. A Democrat with the last name of Esposito. Now, we do know that there is a lot of nepotism with the Espositos in Danbury. And just like I don't care about Democrat or Republican, there's other people that don't as well. And just like I don't have party loyalty, some of these people don't either. And this lady has the same last name as Dean Esposito. So I'm going to look her up. Laurie A. Esposito. She beat Jan Geigler. All right, here's her patch candidate profile. That's her. When is this from? This is from last month, article, patch. The 2023 municipal election is heating up in Danbury, and there are plenty of races with candidates eager to serve in elected office. Danbury Patch asked candidates to answer questions about their campaigns and will be publishing candidate profiles. Okay, so Michael Esposito's wife. Who's Michael Esposito? Art. Yes, the first question. Does anyone in your family work in politics or government? So let's see what she says. Okay, so this is her. This is the lady who just beat Jan Geigler. This is her candidate profile from last month on Patch. Artist, entrepreneur, caregiver, and former para-educator, teacher's assistant in Danbury Public Schools. Laurie Esposito is 55 years old, running for election to town clerk as a Democrat. She's a graduate of Danbury Public Schools and married to Michael. Who's Michael Esposito? Because I bet he's related to Dean. More distant relatives. We'll see about that. Michael Esposito. There was someone named Michael Esposito on the city council or something. Let me look it up. Yep. See, there was a man named Michael J. Esposito. How many Michael Espositos do y'all think are in Danbury? Whose wives are running for town clerk? Somebody from Danbury, please email me if this is a true statement. Laurie Esposito, married to Michael, presumably Esposito. No one in my immediate family works in politics or government. Well, who's Michael J. Esposito? I mean, he is a Republican. She's a Democrat. I really don't know. Why was she seeking the office? She lived in Danbury her entire life, seen the little town grow into a city, some changes for the better and some not so much. Running because I believe that Roberto Alves has what it takes to guide our city in a positive direction. Honored to be a part of his team in hopes of making better quality of life for all Danbury residents. I believe many politicians have forgotten they are supposed to represent all of their constituents, not either Republicans or Democrats, businesses instead of citizens. Boom. I agree with her on that, but I don't know about this. It doesn't seem like an accurate statement that she has no family members in government. It doesn't seem accurate, but maybe, who knows? Maybe everybody's last name in Danbury is Esposito and maybe none of them are related. Who knows? She said, at the end of the day, we're all just people trying to get by. I believe in fairness and being impartial. Please complete this statement, they asked her. The single most pressing issue facing my constituents is blank. And this is what I intend to do about it. I can't name a single pressing issue because I think we have more than one. However, meeting the needs of our public schools, Danbury Career Academy, workers' rights, and services for the elderly are priorities of mine. I would work closely with my colleagues at City Hall to help ensure that budgets may meet the needs of our residents. What is the major difference between you and Jan Geigler is basically this question. Well, I can say I've been very fortunate in my life to have had opportunities to work in many different occupations. This enabled me to meet people from all over the world. I would enjoy learning and connecting with other people, and I enjoy teaching people what I have learned. Also, wrangling middle school kids for almost 18 years has prepared me for just about anything. They really keep you on your toes. If you are challenging an incumbent, Jan Geigler, in what way has Jan Geigler failed the community? Sadly, it appears inequity. I don't know what in the hell answer that was, girl. Lori, you could have said this a little more with your chest. What does this mean? If you're challenging an incumbent, how has they failed the community? How did Jan Geigler fail the community? All she had to say was inequity? Girl, give us an example, girl. But she won. Congrats on your win, girl. What other issues do you intend to address during your campaign? I believe the political process is very difficult to understand for most people, including myself. People who live their lives working, trying to provide for their families, they don't have the time or energy to learn all the terms and lingo of politics. People who speak English as a second language, which is a large percentage of the Danbury population, may also feel left out of the process. I would like to see a change in how political figures speak to their constituents. More education available, people will get involved in their elections more if they better understand the process. Well, I'm going to say the same thing I said about, what's his name, Alves. I hope that this is a good one. Congratulations on your win, and I hope you do better than the last town clerk because she sucked. And then we have these councilmen, and it's a lot of them, and a lot of them were Democrats, apparently. So let me just find that one last article, then we're going to be done. Danbury. Here's an article from News Times. Danbury Democrats flip city council. So yes, this was a predominantly Republican city council, and now they only got like 4 or 5 out of like 20 something on the city council. So they really did flip this town. Danbury Democrats flip city council, take super majority from a GOP that says we got slaughtered. Democrat Roberto Alves. Let's see if we can see Cavo. Maybe it's not Cavo. That looks like the guy who I was calling Cavo, and maybe that's not him. Somebody in Danbury tell me, was Joe Cavo at Alves' victory speech, or was he at Esposito's loser speech, or was he at neither? Somebody tell me. Danbury, in a dramatic shift of political power, Democrats flipped control of the 21-member city council, gaining 5 at-large seats and winning at least 11 seats representing wards on a night that saw voters elect a Democratic mayor for the first time in 2 decades. We got slaughtered, said Michael Safranek, the Republican Party chair, on Wednesday. No question, it was an upset. San Frank's counterpart said he woke up Wednesday pinching himself to make sure it was real. The public has spoken. And the public has spoken loudly that it was time for a change in Danbury, said the Democratic Party chairman. The party chairman were referring to not only a victory for Democrat Roberto Alves in his rematch against first-term GOP Mayor Dean Esposito, but the Democrats flipping the city council from a GOP supermajority to a Democratic supermajority. Supermajority means there is greater margin than a mere majority that assures a party in power has full control of its agenda. And their agenda better be transparency and honesty, or else. Republicans, who have enjoyed a 14-7 super majority for the past 2 years, as well as similar super majorities over the course of the last 2 decades, saw their representation dwindle to a handful of seats on a council they have dominated. The unofficial results mean that Alves, the mayor-elect, will have a substantial majority on the city council to support his first-term priorities. The only question mark on Wednesday were 2 ward races that came down to a single vote, and which could go to recounts, assuming the numbers hold after they're certified by the city's registrar of voters. Only one of those races will determine a winner and loser, however, since the other race in which a recount is likely is between the 2 highest vote getters automatically gain a seat. That means, depending on the outcome of that race, the 16-4 majority could turn into a 17-4 majority, or it could decrease by 1 vote based on the likely recount in the first ward. So it's not clear exactly the numbers, but no matter what, it's certainly clear that the Democrats flipped or upset the Republican supermajority, not only in the city council, but also the mayor's seat itself. Again, this is just what this article is reporting on. I don't really care who's a Republican or a Democrat. I do think it is significant, and it does tell you something that a town would vote basically only Republican for 20 years. And then flip like this. I do think it is significant, but I don't really care. It's not like, oh, yay, Democrats. But I am happy somebody new is going to be up in here, and they better do better than the last people. I mean, it won't be hard to do better than the last people, but we'll see. The rest of the city council went, okay. At-large seats went to these people. Look, 5 GOP incumbents lost their seats. Ooh, the Espositos got voted out. They are sick and tired in Danbury of these Espositos. Look at this. The 5 Republican incumbents who lost their seats were John Esposito III, Michael Esposito, who happens to be sharing a name with the husband of the lady that just won town clerk, who claimed that she had no relatives in government or politics. I don't know if they're related or not. Maybe they are not. But 2 Espositos on the city council lost their spot, and so did Dean Esposito as the mayor. So the 3 Espositos got kicked out. Also, Warren Levy, the Republican majority leader. Democrats also won 11 ward seats. I don't care about the wards right now. Okay. Republicans will now be the minority party on the city council. Democrats will elect from among their members a city council president and a majority leader. And then the Democratic majority guy said, I don't believe the Republican supermajority left our city in good shape. And I think the public paid attention to that and voted out the old guard because they weren't doing the job. He said, all we want at the end of the day is what is best for Danbury. And again, I've said this in other Danbury videos. I've already been recording this for way longer than I wanted to. I wanted to make like a 15-minute video. But I would be remiss not to mention that this $200 million Danbury Career Academy project got voted in favor of only after they didn't get the chance to vote on the issue on the first instance. Basically, the city council conspired to pass a law, a budget with nearly $100 million, which was way more than anything else even close on their budget. It was the largest budget item by orders of magnitude over anything else that they really had ever done, really even in the past. And this decision was made by basically only the city council. I actually went in and watched those city council meetings that were on Zoom, took notes and reported them to y'all. Remember, I found that actually a big chunk of the votes and a big chunk of everything was actually hidden from the public. It wasn't even shown. And then when I requested it, all of a sudden stuff had gotten updated and they tried to act like that wasn't true. Y'all remember all that? If you weren't around for that, you should go back and watch the Danbury Files playlist, because that's where I talk about all this stuff. But it almost seems like the city council with the Republican supermajority was disenfranchising the voters, the actual stakeholders in the city. And it does seem to be that that is what did prompt this supermajority upset on all up and down the ballot in Danbury. I do think it is really great that the people are going to vote for who they want to be in charge of their money, who they want to be in charge of their policies, who they want to be in charge of their government and their laws in their town. So I don't usually have a lot of hope, oh yeah, the Democrats are going to save us or the Republicans are going to save it, because they're not. But hopefully this crop has a little bit more integrity and it's a little bit more transparent, a little bit more honest than the outgoing crop. I'll put it to you that way. It doesn't surprise me that Dean Esposito was a sore loser, because he does seem like an entitled brat that is used to getting his way and getting whatever he wants by pushing his weight around. So glad he's out. He was incompetent. He was not qualified. He did not deserve the spot. And so I'm glad he's out. Hopefully, under the leadership of Roberto Alves, everything will get better in Danbury, but that is yet to be seen. Congrats to everyone who won. It does look like people are going to be watching. Godspeed. That's all I really had for today. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.